So that's how they feel.
Yeah.
We are.
Oh, I just remembered the other thing I needed to talk to you about. Not a good time.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna write it down.
We are live.
We are live, and everything is completely normal.
Totally fine.
Totally fine. There's nothing bad going on in the world. There's nothing to be concerned about. Everything's peaceful. No one's preparing for any conflict whatsoever. Right, guys?
No, it's all good.
We're good. We're good. How am I supposed to drink a Jocko?
To drink a Jocko, 1, you need a Jocko in your hand.
Boom.
2, you need to flip your nods down.
Okay. No, get that! Ah! That's just a laser pointer. Guys, as always, this live stream is brought to you by Jocko Fuel. We have a couple of cool products that we've been testing out. Our friends over at Mira Safety sent us some awesome masks.
What is that, a snorkel?
This is a snorkel. This is how you go swimming. No, this is an awesome, I forget which one this is. The CM6. I'm going to mess it up. This is one of their full face masks. This isn't a shooter cut mask. I don't recommend this if you're going to be like shooting stuff or like cheek welding stuff. But this is a really high quality gas mask, and you get great visuals through the dual tubes. And so with that, this is through Nightfall Optics. It's a great company that we have been testing their night vision through for some TACMED at night stuff, which has been really, really interesting. And we have some cool stuff that should be coming to you guys soon with all of that. So that's great. As always, this is the HQ Q&A, so the headquarters question and answer.
Oh,
so,
wait. That color pop.
Whoa.
that blue color pop. Like, whoa.
So you may be wondering, Bob, why are you wearing this new blue hat? Well, that's because this is one of the hat builds that we are testing for our Refuge Medical hat line. And so I'm kind of just like seeing like, hey, does it feel good? I love this hat. Everybody else doesn't love this hat, so we probably won't offer it. But you guys understand how it is. Like, you know, we got to offer something that's more applicable to everyone rather than just me.
Do we want to show the other hat?
No, we're gonna hold off because that is the hat.
Yeah, it's true.
That is the cap. No cap.
Well, he's not here. He's at training.
That's right.
He is at training.
No cap.
Yeah, there's no cap.
No cap.
Yep.
So never mind. Just kidding. LOL. Yeah, but we're testing these hats out. So we've got cool new stuff in the works here, guys. And so now that I've got all that equipment off, that life-saving PPE, by the way, this is life-saving PPE. If you guys didn't know, we had some really, really big events happen in 2023 already where these types of PPE, these masks would come in handy. And so
you mean like driving to work and then you're like, hey, what's that squeaky wheel going past? And then it sparks. And what is that cloud of...
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at you, Ohio, okay? The whole state. Looking at you, anybody who's attached to the Mississippi River. So, guys, if you don't have life-saving PPE, make sure that you get it, okay? And this isn't me. I have literally zero relationship with Mira Safety. They don't pay me, and they sent these to us for us to review because we've been talking about doing a CBRN medical kit. And that was really the whole thing there. We were hanging out at SHOT Show talking about it. It's not like we're best friends and we're trying to sell their gear. That's not the case at all. And so get your life-saving PPE through, you know, something like Mira Safety or maybe a similar brand that's as comparable, but there's not many out there. And then, you know, continue to build your capabilities, right? I mean, if you guys watch the news, if you guys watch what's going on in the country and in the world right now, it's a really interesting climate. There was 30 tons, 60,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate went missing this last week. That's a lot of explosives that just went missing off of a train car. And so, make sure you have your medical components because you don't really get to decide when bad things happen. Nobody gets to, be in the know, right? And so if they're handing out satellite phones to officials, maybe make sure you have your first aid kit, you have your gas mask, you have your protective equipment, whatever you may need to be successful, to be independent of a broken system. That's the stuff you guys need. That's what we're trying to push to you guys. We're trying to build knowledge, build a resource center where you can come and learn, ask questions, and get information. That being said, if you do have questions, throw them in the chat below. We're always a resource to you guys. And so, if you have questions about any of the gear here, if you have questions about our Refuge gear and why we're offering the things that we're offering and why we're having the conversations we're having, feel free to throw it in the comment section below. We love to talk shop. And we love to help you guys. It's also transparency hour. If you want to call us out on something, if you want to raise an issue or concern, throw it in the comment section below, and we got your back 110%. As always, shout out to Jocko Fuel for sponsoring the show. We love Jocko Fuel. Without it, we'd probably be in a ditch somewhere. God dang, that's good. That's my first Jocko of the day, actually. And so, less than that brought down the Murrah building in OK back in '95. Yeah, so the Oklahoma City bombing, that was proposed or perpetuated with ammonium nitrate. Far less amount. I don't know the exact amount that was used, but I know it's far less. And so this scale of ammonium nitrate missing is very, very weird. And the fact that nobody's really talking about it is even weirder. And so I'm going to be one of those dudes that talks about it. And even if there's 25 people here that know now go do some research. What you got over there?
Well, just talking about explosives and maybe even radioactive stuff, it's a good time to stock up on your potassium.
Yeah, 100% potassium iodide, right? Your KiO3, making sure that you have either potassium iodate or iodide. They're different. A lot of it has to do with shelf life. Making sure that, you have your PPE, you know how to use it, right? Because that goes directly with potassium iodide or potassium iodate. Also, there's things you can do depending on how much fluoride intake you've had. Your thyroid could be calcified because of that fluoride intake. There's kelp and other things you can do to kind of decalcify your thyroid to make sure that it receives that potassium iodide correctly. I'm not a doctor. I just, read a lot. And so that's the knowledge that I've gathered through my research and through talking to higher learned professionals. Yes, Dud.
Yo, foe! Hey, Desert Goon Medic said, check back this email from your partners. I think he wants to do some business with you.
There you go, Desert Medic. That's how easy it is. That is how easy it is.
Desert Goon Medic.
Desert. Hold on, Desert. Desert. Hold on. Goon Medic.
Which one has the higher shelf life?
Iodate has the higher shelf life, but iodate hasn't been as high in production lately from what I've seen in the market. And so I've been tracking down. We've got a good source with Ready Hour. We partnered for iodide, and they're doing a great job of sourcing it here in the U.S., producing here in the U.S., and making sure that we have it on hand. That's a big deal. So go, and I think we lowered price today because of all this crap. I'm not even joking. I talked to Britt about it. I'm not sure if she went and did that yet, but it will be lowered here shortly.
Well, and the way that it works is it actually fills your thyroid with the good iodine or iodate that you need, and it makes it where it can't absorb any of that.
Right, and what a lot of people don't understand is with potassium iodate or potassium iodide, what that's doing, that's not protecting you from the air. That's if you were to ingest any contaminated material, whether it's food or water, that right there is going to get processed through that thyroid. So we want to make sure that it's not able to receive any of the bad chemicals, so that way you don't get poisoned and die. Jocko Dilly.
Add-on for a boo-boo kit.
Add-on for a boo-boo kit.
Boo-boo add-on?
What?
What
so you
camera?
You can do this at home. You can put a cat tourniquet in your boo-boo kit like so. A lot of people don't know this, but you can. You can also still put something in the pocket right here and then still use it as a cat tourniquet holder, right? And so if I were to take a SWAT team somewhere, maybe...
I got one in my pocket.
I know, I figured you did. I didn't want to break it.
It's not on that shelf, but
it's probably over there. Hold on. Here's a SCHLUSHMAN.
Slushy.
Right, so you got a little slushy right there. So for our boo-boo kit, I leave a little tail right here from the SCHLUSHMAN. I'll show you why. Hold on, let me get her in there. So now the SCHLUSHMAN is at the bottom of this pocket, like so, but you still have your tail, and that gives you a positive pull if you wanted to get this out really rapidly, like so, but still covers up right there. Then you take your cat TQ come over like so. Now you've got 2 tourniquets right here inside your boo-boo. You can still mount this all the normal places, still throw it in the diaper bag just like normal. And so I have 1 tourniquet, right, like so. And then you have your SCHLUSHMAN where you can pull that out like so. But I did just notice, and this is me being transparent, that the SCHLUSHMAN will get caught on that hook and loop. So be cautious of that. I'm going to tell my wife about that because I didn't think about that when I did that. So great note, Flo. Thanks for sharing that. Seriously, we're all learning together. Bada bang, bada boom. There you go.
Oh,
he caught it. We have any questions in the chat so far? Anybody asking anything?
Shalom, I'm here. Here's my hand.
There he is.
I'm back behind the cameras.
You can hear him, I promise.
What do we got? We're still in product development. Yes, we are. Whole bunch of different product developments.
Yeah, so we'll keep moving on. We talked about how bad stuff is getting, so make sure you get your stuff while you can, guys. There's weird stuff going on in the world right now. We want you to be prepared. You need medical. Every person needs medical. A couple people have reached out. Our ox kits are out of stock right now. If you go to the website, you'll see that our ox kits are out of stock. Yeah, they are. We sold a bunch of them. The cool thing is we don't have to wait for China to ship us more ox kits. So our injection molded case facility, what makes our cases, we're based out of Texas there. And so they're shipping up 200 or 300 new cases. We should get those here in the next couple of days.
They're for tomorrow, actually.
Are they supposed
Thursday? I think it's supposed to be Thursday.
Okay.
The last I heard, it could have been different now.
And with that, those are going to go quick. A lot of job sites are kind of realizing the fact that work is dangerous inherently, life is dangerous inherently, and they're putting these cases inside of their job sites. And so with that, like, even if there's only 5 people that work at your job site, that's still 5 human beings. You should probably have medical capable of treating at least 5 people, 5 small injuries. Odds of 5 massive injuries at the same time pretty low, but 5 small injuries, it's possible. And that's where the OSHA compliance kit comes in. Our basic covers both the A and the B for the OSHA regulations. And OSHA actually just put out some new documentation. We're going to share it on our website, share it on our socials, about tourniquet applications inside of the workplace and why it's so important. Life 76 was a gentleman where he was trying to download a pallet, and he stepped back because the pallet shifted. Somebody was driving towards the pallet, a forklift. He didn't want to get hit, so he stepped back, and in the process of stepping back, there was a piece of sheet metal sticking out from a different pallet. Totally possible happening, by the way. Ripped his calf in 2 and severed his artery. This individual was trained and also had the equipment on hand, was able to deploy a first aid kit from Refuge, and rendered aid right there, applied a cat tourniquet, right? After they had tried to makeshift the tourniquet. That never goes well because you have a 100% likelihood of moving the casualty, right? So then they applied a real cat tourniquet, and that's what got the bleeding to stop. That's what allowed that person to get to the higher level of care, to the doctors. We've heard from that person. They're recovering. It's a long road to recovery with your calf being, lacerated into 2, but they're in that process and they're going to make a full recovery. So, I mean, this stuff is super applicable to you every single day, whether you want it to be or not. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, grab the OSHA kits when they come back. I've always carried a TQ. I've always carried a TQ. I work with saws, and yeah, shit can be bad. That's AK Woodlife on Instagram. AK Woodlife, super smart dude for carrying a tourniquet, working around saws. I personally talk to people who carry firearms every day and don't carry a tourniquet. So we're trying to get it like, hey, the very minimum, if you work with really sharp knife or spinning knife, saw, or if you work with really fast projectile, bullet, you need a tourniquet on your person every single day.
Well, now a lot of people after the fact will understand why you have safety meetings, why you go through protocol, why you have to sit in those bullet point meetings, because it's to remind you, if you get too comfortable on a job, that you could potentially just get injured out of nowhere.
Yep.
This is kind of changing the pace, but someone wants to know if the ARC and the SOB are the same size.
They are not the same size. The ARC is wider than the SOB. Show you right here. Got ARC here.
Bottom shelf.
SOB here. So if you look at it profile like such, about the same exact size, okay? But then when you go like this, you'll see that the ARC is wider. And the reason for that is that the ARC has an additional compartment, right? And so this right here is pretty similar to the size of the SOB, right? That's about the size of an SOB. For the ARC, we added this compartment down here. Now, this doesn't have a deployable pouch like the SOB. The SOB has a pouch that deploys, right? And you can take this, run around with it, do all the stuff and things, right? The ARC, however, is non-deployable, but the whole outer pouch itself comes off of either the headrest mount or the kit mount or whatever it may be mounted to. So that way now you're running around with this, right? Very different application. I love both of them for the law enforcement, security officer, any contractors, stuff like that. This is a great belt kit, right? So if you're looking for something to be on the belt, the SOB, the ARC, these two guys right here, they are what you're looking for. And they're really versatile. The main difference is the ARC has a little bit more capability in treating others, right? So it has additional chest seals, it has additional compressed gauze. It does not have an additional tourniquet, although you could add one quite easily, right? And so that's the main size differences. This is a little bit wider for it. Hopefully that helps and makes it a little bit easier to understand.
Alex Brown over on Facebook Live said that he just realized, or she, I can't see your picture, I'm so sorry, that we have a birth kit, a birth bucket.
Yeah, we do.
You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Yeah, so I actually have firsthand experience with the baby birthing bucket and the postpartum bucket. My wife and I, roughly 3 months ago, had a home birth, and we used almost everything that was inside of the baby birthing bucket. There was a couple of things we didn't use. So here is the baby birthing bucket. Is this open? Yeah, it is. And so inside the baby birthing bucket is everything you need to birth a baby at home. And just in case you're wondering, like, oh man, like, how do you guys know how to birth a baby at home? There was a group of women who are midwives and doulas that designed this first aid kit, right? This baby birthing bucket around what they would have wanted in their plethora amounts of either themselves birthing at home or being present for another woman's home birth, right? And that's also how we developed the postpartum bucket, because this bucket is for mom, right? And so this is a lot more for baby, and then this is for mom, right? And so my wife is, I think, still using components out of this postpartum bucket 2 months after, which is super great because it allows you to heal better. It, there's a bunch of different utilization inside of these buckets, as well as, like, we had some extra gauze left over. We had I think an extra blanket too, which was super nice, just like having a little bit of extra capability after the baby was born for, whatever reason, right? But these are super great tools. They work. I know my son is here. So yeah, 100%. We've not just lives saved. I think we're at 4 babies born now too. So lives began, which is a great statistic. It really is a super powerful statistic. We're on both ends of the spectrum at beginning of life, and then, on the other side too. So super cool. What you got?
So Thomas has asked, first of all, shalom, Andy Barnes. We love you.
What up, Andy Barnes?
Thomas Beer has
Nice.
asked twice, and the second time in all caps, are you going to make an ankle med kit?
Yes.
No.
Research and development.
Yes, Thomas, we are. We're not going to. We are making one currently. The problem with that is Thomas,
how tight your pants are, so it doesn't work.
First
it
of
makes
all,
it look like you have a swollen ankle from playing basketball. Get him, Dudley.
First of all, my skinny jeans are between me and my wife, good sir. Second of all, I think that I look wonderful, and that's what matters. Okay.
You're gonna have ankle weight. It's gonna look like an ankle weight.
That's
You're
what it is. Yeah, this is a conspiracy by me to not produce ankle kits because I wear skinny jeans. No. The ankle kit is inside of the R&D. And so just so you know, in terms of our processes, the first process is conception, right? The second process is testing and evaluation, or R&D. And then the third process is testing and evaluation. So we had 2 different models for our ankle kit: reach, testing, and evaluation. Both of them failed. What that means is they either the construction broke, or the deployment of the tools wasn't expedient enough, or the design was flawed. Whatever it may be, or it wasn't comfortable, right? Like, those things matter. And so now we went back to the R&D phase off of those 2 models, and we're fixing what went wrong. So that way we can bring Gen 3 into the T&E phase, and I believe that Gen 3 is going to be the Gen, and that's what's going to move to market. So we're in process right now. I'm sorry that we didn't roll it out right up super quickly, but I'm also not sorry because we want to deliver you a badass product and not something that's like just thrown together. So Thomas, when we do release the ankle kit, because you are so curious, would you please email us and say, hey, I'm that guy that's been like asking about the ankle kit, and we'll send you one to test. What you got?
On TikTok, hey, going back to those baby buckets, are they going to be available like on a baby registry or something like that so you can gift it to someone?
It could be.
It could be.
It could be. That's a good question. I never thought about that.
This is a good one.
Go for it.
Blue Line Syndicate Group said, what up, TJ? I'm Bob.
You're not, TJ. Timothy Hansen said, has Refuge ever considered offering train the trainer classes?
Someone call me? No.
Has Refuge ever considered offering train the trainer classes to help expand the network and train more folks?
Yes, Refuge has talked about exact things. Refuge is in the process of setting up that program. Because you are interested in that Train the Trainer program, would you email admin@Refuge Training? Come talk to us. Literally yesterday for 2 hours, Phelps and Hannah sat on a call with another program that's running like that. It's something that is deep in process that we are going to roll out. So I love the fact that your head's there. And that rolls me on to the next thing. If you guys are excited about Refuge and you want to be deeper involved, reach out to us because we've got some really cool programs where we're going to like start implementing you, the consumer, to no longer be a consumer. We want to bring you in as part of the team. So whether that's like, you know, going out there and talking to people about our kits, whether that's going out there and training individuals, whether that's helping us set up trainings, all these different things, we want you guys to get more involved because we think that you can have a deeper impact. And we know how much that means to every individual. It's so gratifying to us on a deep spiritual level when we get to see the impact of a life saved. We want you to start to experience that in your day-to-day interactions. And so if that's something that interests you, if you want to get on this team, if you want to be a part of this movement, reach out to us, admin@Refuge Medical. We want to hear what your thoughts are. And I think the main thing is going to be starting with online training and training the trainer courses. What you got, Doug?
We got a couple of things going back to the ankle kit. J. Corey Love said the ankle kit, a.k.a. the parole ankle bracelet. And then our brother from the north, the Iridium Group, a.k.a. Snowbird. Ankle kits are required specific products. And if you do it without a cat, you can make it fit inside most cuffs, including skinny jeans.
That's a pretty good Iridium Group impression there. So every now and then Dudley does become a Canadian. Yeah, 100%. If you do the ankle kit without the cat, it's way streamlined. It's just we really struggle on making any first aid kit without a tourniquet there. It's just challenging. Even with the boo-boo, it was like pulling teeth for us to create something that only had an S mark in it and not like a cat or a soft T or something to that level. So I totally understand. Walking with Dill said, knock, knock, really trying to get Mac 4 right now. Walking with Dill, the Mac 4 is available, isn't it? Are we still holding for bags?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
I think we might be holding for bags. We had a production quality issue where the bags came in at like a 95% and we needed them to be like a 99%. And Chris with Squatch Survival, who makes those bags, he's been doing a freaking phenomenal job.
Mac 4 is in stock.
Mac 4 is in stock.
You can get it on the website
Walking with
now.
Dill.
Black or red. I will put the link. What site are they on?
Yeah, they're on Instagram. So Mac Dill, or Walking with Dill, if you want, she's gonna attach a link in the chat for you, and then she'll also throw in use IG10. IG10 will get you 10% off that Mac 4, and the Mac 4 is not a low cost kit, and so that 10% will get you a few $100 off. So make sure you use that code so that way you're getting that discount. What you got?
Hey, Walking with Dill, we wanted to make sure that our quality is up to par, so we don't put you in a pickle.
Oh, did you see that? Did you see what he did there? Dude, that joke was kosher. That joke was all the way kosher.
We don't have the buttons anymore, you know? That could have been a laughing button right there.
That could have been. PNW Survival, looking for product to use for training. Would love to use your equipment. Yeah, absolutely. So we have training products available on our website. There's training kits, right? And those have training medical components in them. You can purchase them. You can use them for training. If you're hosting a medical training with, say, a large group of people, reach out to us. If you're buying in bulk, you get a bulk discount, right? And so we'll hook you up. We're in the process of getting this stuff in people's hands, not in making a ton of money. And so with that, reach out to sales at Refuge Training or sales at Refuge Medical. Either one will be suffice, and they'll be able to help you get those trainer kits. And then if you're looking for just bags maybe to have people train in and out of, reach out to sales at Refuge Medical. They'll help hook you up with some bags. That way you constantly have stuff to pull components out of, and you're training the way that it would be inside of the scenario, not training with a potential deficit for your benefit. What's up?
When y'all are looking in the all USA industry, okay, like all made in USA industry, do y'all know about a tactical pants manufacturer?
We're looking, dude. We're looking. I'm trying to convince Origin to do it.
Yeah, that one company that was very compliant that we met at SHOT Show, maybe we need to relook at them and see what they have. I know they had shirts. I believe that they had tactical pants, but I'm not sure if their pants were very compliant.
I'll get with you after this. Yeah, so that's something that we struggle with too, because we use a lot of combat pants, especially the ones with knee pads. Specifically when we're training, we're doing refuge training, we go out and we're like beating the crap out of our bodies and stuff, trying to put people through the ringer. It's great to have combat pants that are breathable with knee pads. And so that's something I'm definitely interested in. I know that people are seeking too. It's a struggle for us because we want world domination, but at the same time, we can only focus on what's in front of us and take a small bite at a time. What you got?
The 12C Conditioning
Love that guy.
is planning on putting a $10,000 order in only if we're open on Monday.
We're open on
Monday. Asked on YouTube if we were open on Monday.
We are.
Guess what? Our website is open on Monday. Now you said it. Gotta do it.
Yep. Dude, 12C, if you put that $10,000 order in, I will pay for you to come and pick it up.
We will have a party.
Yeah, we'll have a party with you. No, actually, if you need a good, encouraging channel to follow right now, the 12C Conditioning, he's in the process of going through 75 hard, and he's documenting it, I believe, on YouTube and on Instagram.
Putting in that work.
I've been tracking it on Instagram. It's super encouraging. It's good content. I recommend that you go follow it. And that's just me talking to you, right? That's not a sales pitch. What you got?
Facebook question from Alex Brown. Opinion question. Best kit for attaching to a backpack for day-to-day work and driving use. Bearman versus ARC versus SOB.
Bearman. 100%. Bearman. Bearman's got your everyday needs. So it's got some meds in it and stuff too. So if you're carrying it in the truck, if you're carrying it to work and stuff like that, that's going to have some OTC meds, some OTC wipes, some sting relief. Then it'll also have your trauma capability. And so Bearman, hands down. And it mollies to backpack really, really easily. What you got?
Hans, there are. Please check out our website. Do we have hoodies in stock?
I don't know.
I will check.
You were just on the
I was
website.
just there.
Yep.
He said, are there any Refuge hoodies or t-shirts for sale? Free advertising for you if we wear one.
Yeah, we standardly always have shirts and hoodies for sale in the store. We love that. We ran the carrying up and tourniquet shirt for a while. I think we're about to retire that and bring out a new specialty shirt. We haven't figured out the design on that yet. It could be a Be the Hero shirt, where we're just telling you guys to be the hero every single day. Go out there and be the hero in your own story. What you got?
Has Dano not in the Lions Den been in any of the R&D meetings?
No.
Okay, because they're asking an idea maybe, a tactical koozie for numerous beverage systems and possibly include a small hangover kit, if that's your thing. So I'm wondering.
So we're not doing a tactical koozie.
I'm wondering if Dano is spying on us.
Dano is spying. What? So we do have a hydration kit that's going to be coming out here shortly. I'm not going to give up too much about it because it's a cool product. But that should be launching here in the next month or so. And that's something that is everyday use, man. You can just use that sucker. And it's not it's just another way to rep the brand, another way to spread the mission, which is just to save lives. And also, it's just a healthy, cool product that I think a lot of people are going to get benefit from. So, good idea, Dano, not in the Lions Den. Yeah, that's a freaking awesome idea. Yeah, as always, guys, if you have questions, this is a great time to ask them. Like, I'm either going to find the answer or there's not an answer or I have it. So, what you got?
Scott over on Facebook said, is Refuge Medical hiring?
Refuge Medical is not hiring right now. However, Refuge Medical is in the process of putting together a program to where you can become a member of our team. And I can't say much more than that right now, but it's coming and it's a cool opportunity. And that's going to be kind of our pipeline for how we hire people moving forward. So stay tuned on that. Because once we launch this thing, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be smashing. What you got?
Oh, I don't. I was scratching my face.
Oh, she's just over there like this. I'm like, all right, she got another question. Quick, hurry up. What are you doing? Yeah, this is great stuff, guys. And so with that, oh, you know what? It's EMS week this week. So it's EMS week this week, and so EMS, emergency medical services. Today, I think they're focusing on pediatric EMS, and so that's child safety. We already talked a little bit about the boo-boo kit and how you can put a cat tourniquet on it, or stuff that SCHLUSHMAN in there.
Schlushy.
The SCHLUSHMAN. We actually, so cool thing about the SCHLUSHMAN, the bag that the SCHLUSHMAN comes in is completely made out of hook or loop material. So there's like hook and loop Velcro. One side has the hook, one side has the loop. So that bag is made out of loop. And he's been trying to get the SCHLUSHMAN made in the U.S. for years. We just found the fabric, and I believe that we're going to be able to roll out American manufacturing of the SCHLUSHMAN wrap here in the next 6 months, which is a huge deal. And that's something that we're pushing. That's something that we're pushing for all children everywhere. It's an amazing tool. It can be used so versatilely. And so just you guys having that knowledge, knowing that resource exists, the SCHLUSHMAN wrap, and what it can do for kids is huge. What you got over there?
And also, one of the things when I was looking up the stuff about the EMS for pediatric care, there's so many things you can't render aid to a child the way that you would an adult.
Yep.
Our whole office just took CPR just about.
Yep.
And we were learning about the differences about, CPR for an adult versus a child. And I mean, it's important to know not only how to treat an adult, guys, but get training on how to treat kids. Most of us have children.
Yeah, if you have children specifically and you're seeking out medical training, seek out medical training that applies to your life, right? If you're never in a tactical situation, it doesn't make sense for you to spend all of your resources on tactical situational training. If you're spending most of your time with your children, make sure that you're seeking out medical training that applies to children. That's one of the cool things about Refuge Training is the fact that we do focus on child medicine too, because we have kids, because we want to make sure that we know how to render aid to our children. If something terrible were to happen, we don't need to multiply that situation and that trauma. What we need to do is subtract from that trauma and become a force multiplier for good rather than for chaos.
You know what? This goes so well with today's theme. I got the coolest email today. Could I read it really fast?
Yeah,
out loud?
For sure.
It says, hey guys, currently a building inspector by trade and an EMT in a previous life. Last year, I was a first responder to a kiddo falling out of a second floor window head first onto the driveway. Didn't have a kid on me, but was able to hold C-spine and keep him conscious till I could hand off to higher care, all while fighting off the poor grandmother who just wanted to pick the kiddo up. I was told he made a full recovery.
Wow.
It made me realize I need to have a med kit on me at all times. Went searching for the best and found the Bear Fact 3.0. Couldn't be happier with my kit. Keep up the great work and thank you for what you guys do.
That is amazing. Guys, this stuff is applicable. Kids fall downstairs, they trip, they fight, they're not the brightest because they're new, right? 5-year-olds have only been here for 5 years and only 2 years have been probably conscious, right? With that, make sure that you have your stuff on hand or within arm's reach at the very minimum, right? You never know. We don't get to decide when bad things happen. What you got, Dud?
Desert Goon Medic, who on R&D do I talk to about developing a kit?
I guess me. Yeah, reach out to Bob at refugemedical.com. Desert Goon Medic. and we'll talk about your gooning shenanigans and what kit you're wanting to design and why. And if it has a real application, dude, I'm about it.
Only if it's called the Goon Kit.
Only if it's called the Goon Kit. Yeah.
And it has to come out in the month of Goon.
Yeah, not June. It's the month of Goon now. No, that's a great question, guys. We love your feedback. Honestly, that's why this company is what it is. What do you got?
What's the best way to stage the SCHLUSHMAN?
Yeah, where's it at?
Bell on the floor next to your feet.
Yeah, so let's go through that. So the SCHLUSHMAN, the best way to stage it, we'll show it here. If you take the SCHLUSHMAN, I'm not going to unroll it all the way, right? Move that out of the way, move this out of the way, move this out of the way. That way everybody can see. So if you look at your SCHLUSHMAN, you unroll it, you'll have a section that has hook and loop tabs, more so the hook, right? So you can see those hook tabs, right? And then you have a section that does not have hook tabs, that's smooth. You want to take your hook tab section and set it upright. You're going to roll your hook tabs, you're going to roll on top of them, right? And the reason for that is when you deploy the SCHLUSHMAN, then it doesn't unroll on you and it doesn't get all crazy. If you roll it the opposite way, like so, when you go to deploy your SCHLUSHMAN, slushy, it can unravel on you like so, right? Well, we don't want that. We want to maintain positive control of our tools at all times, right? That way we're effective in the scenario. So take your SCHLUSHMAN, right, and you roll on top of your tabs like so. I'm nervous doing it on camera. Never been on camera before.
You need some music? Rolling.
So then once you get up here, right, this here is your section for the arm, right, or the leg, the extremity in which you're trying to cut off arterial flow. And so we want to keep this open. I think about like a child's foot. It's like a size 6, size 7, right? And that's about the size hole that I leave right there because it can get over a child's foot, right? Once I leave that little hole, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep rolling right over my red tab, okay? And you'll see that this red tab has hook on the opposite side, and that's for your final roll. Now, I personally do a little bit of a stretch here and create some tension, right? That gives me my tail, right? So if I hold it, I now have like a little tail where I can pull and I can start to deploy. Then, take a little pressure, right? A little bit of pressure. Form it on, boom, like so. Then at that point, it can go into a pocket. It can go into the SCHLUSHMAN pouch, which is hook and looped somewhere. It can go inside of the boo-boo kit pouch like I had just shown you. And you can easily deploy it, right? And it doesn't run off on you because it is elastic, so it could bounce like it just did, right? But then you still have positive control, so you can get it over an arm and you can begin your wrap. That is how we stage the SCHLUSHMAN. I'm sure I'm open to better ways to stage a SCHLUSHMAN, but that is the way that we have seen be the most successful in quick application. So I hope that helps. Hopefully you use the SCHLUSHMAN and you carry it. It's available on the store. It's a freaking awesome product. If you have kids, you should have one of these. Yeah, it's basic dude stuff there. What else? What do you got?
Would you suggest having one for practice and one to keep on your kit? Or would you suggest just having the one?
For every tourniquet, I recommend you have one for practice, one for your kit. The tourniquet that you're beating the crap out of, running reps the same way that you run dry fire practice, the same way that you practice hitting the baseball, the same way that you practice playing the piano. If you want to be good at something, how do you get there? Practice, 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 right? And this is something you want to be good at, tourniquet application. So you should have one for practice that you beat the crap out of. Maybe it's blue. That's the training color. That's why we sell it. Same thing with a SCHLUSHMAN. What you do is, on one end, take some blue painter's tape and paint it. Wrap it around there and say, okay, that's my training SCHLUSHMAN. I always know because it's marked blue, right? Maybe something we should talk to about with Mr. SCHLUSHMAN is a blue wrap.
Blue tab.
A blue,
that one has a red tab.
Yeah, red tab and a blue tab for training. That'd be a great idea. Thanks for that. We're going to reach out to them. But yeah. Slushy. That's what Dud calls them. As always, guys, throw your questions in the chat. We got a couple more minutes here. that we're going to be hanging out. So if you have any questions, now's a great time to ask it, whether it's about like random stuff, whether it's about Refuge culture, whether it's about our medical side, our training side, our manufacturing side, where it's about like our people and the stuff we do. What you got?
Bob, did you hear that we had over 100 5-star reviews on our Bearpack 3.0?
I did. And like that's so cool to me because guys, we don't have 100 reviews. We have 100 5-star reviews. That's peer review. That's product testing. That's time inside the marketplace that the Bearpack has existed where people have gone out and used it. And they've used it in a way that they felt so compelled to write a review on it and give it 5 stars. That right there is good data. If you're wondering about the Bearpack, go read the reviews. If you're wondering about that kit, go read the reviews. If you have a question about it, go read the reviews. Somebody probably had that question and may have answered it right there. And then you're not asking us. Now you're asking somebody else who took a risk, spent their money, right? Went out there, purchased a Bearpack, and then felt so compelled to write a review. We don't pay people to write reviews. We don't pay for reviews. We will never do that. We are the antithesis of that. We want the bad reviews because it makes us better, right? What you got?
Scott Slidak on Facebook asks, what about treatment for snake bites?
Yeah, that's such a challenging thing. So treatment for snake bites, there's a bunch of snake oil salesmen out there. So yeah, there's like bad teachings, man, like suck out the venom, use a suction cup, snake venom kits, and then like people say put a tourniquet on. None of that works. You need anti-venom. You need higher level of care. There is not a end-all be-all solution for snake bites. A tourniquet will not work. You will not get it applied in time because the way that a snake venom works is the second that it hits the bloodstream, it's immediately carried through, right? And then it multiplies and a lot of times coagulates, right? So what you need to do is you're fighting that clock already. You need to know what type of snake bit that individual. That's huge, okay? Take a picture of it. If you don't know how to identify snakes, know what snakes are in your area, especially the venomous snakes, and document that and communicate it to higher level of care, right? So when you're driving that person to the ambulance or driving that person to the hospital or whatever it is, you're on the phone with 911 and you're telling them, hey, they were bit by a pit viper. They were bit by a water moccasin. They were bit by a copperhead. They were bit by a rattlesnake. All these things, right? So that way, at that hospital, they can already start to prepare the anti-venom. They can already start to prepare their treatment process and all the things that they're going to need to do. They're going to need to have blood on hand, all that stuff, right? And so knowing blood type, knowing what type of snake bit them, I mean, it goes back to the old G.I. Joe homage of knowledge is power, right? And that really is the best treatment for a snake bite. I wish that we could find a product where you like EpiPen for a snake bite. It doesn't exist yet. Once it does, I will tell you. I promise, because I want to put it in my kit because I hate snakes. What you got?
Shout out to Missy. She said, have a boo-boo kit in my mom mobile. Taking my teenager to school when I see a kid trip and hit his forehead. There was a fire truck and ambulance by the school, so I got a gauze pad and got him help.
Wow, that is awesome. That actually, you used a gauze pad.
Oh, yeah. Email us, Missy.
We will send you a gauze pad. We will literally pay the shipping to send you one singular gauze pad. I don't care. We want to replace your stuff. We stand by that. That is us. If you use this to render aid, save a life, we're replacing the components because that's what the kit's designed to do. What you got?
On TikTok, Warsec Gibbs said, is a burn kit in the works for the folks that do hot work?
That was actually suggested when we did put out that graphic about what would you like to see. The burn kit was suggested more than once.
So we do have a burn kit in the works right now. We have a burn bucket. The burn bucket has been sold to a few asphalt companies.
Yeah, because
we have the
your
burn
ass's
shield
fault
pack
that you burned your butt.
But we don't have like a burn module. We do have a burn module. It's not released. Okay. Yep, for sure. I hear you 110%. Give me like a week and let me figure that out.
Yeah. Don't worry, because Nano and the Lions Den said, LOL, no spying, wink, wink. I just have to treat heat casualties and dehydration issues on the river in lake days a few times because we're all striving in the same direction. Hashtag dads. Need a research and development job, by the way.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure you do, Dano. With that, like we have the hydration kit coming, so be watchful for that. Ambitious Gunner said something that's super interesting. Most hospitals are struggling now with anti-venom, especially in my area. It's wild out there. Yeah, you're going to continue to see this, guys. Resources are dwindling. It's not going to get better. It's not. And this isn't me fear-mongering. This is me from my perspective, right? And I'm a broken individual who is allowed to be wrong. But in my perspective, it's only going to get worse. There's not like we just need to turn this corner and then everything's going to be fine. No, that doesn't exist right now, seemingly. There's no corner. And so if you know that, and if you see these things like hospitals are running out of antivenom, okay, tracking on that, have you communicated with other medical professionals in your area that may have access to that? Have you started to form those networks? All those things are totally possible, are totally doable, are totally legal. You should do it. What you got?
This is so interesting because we all just took this class. Question about the AED that I forgot to ask in the class Monday. I know they have adult-sized pads and kid-sized pads. What if you come across someone that's an adult but is kid-sized? Which pads are used?
You're still going to use the adult pads. And the reason being is those pads deliver an electric shock, and it's a current, and it's about how the current is carried over the node. It's not about the size of the pad. So a child's heart is developed differently. It's at a different stage of development than an adult's heart would be. And so you want to deliver that shock for an adult's heart rather than for a child's heart, if that makes sense. And if you're having issues with pads, they always tell you to refer to the child method of go one on top and one on back. So with that, you're kind of in the opportunity of both there. And so I would stick with the adult method. What'd you say?
I thought Josh.
Either speak louder or come closer.
I thought Josh told us, if they were smaller built.
Yep.
It depends on their build,
Right.
of the person.
Are they like stout? Are they like, you know what I mean?
Or how muscular are they?
People who are skinny. You can have little people who are stout.
Stout.
So it really depends on the size of the person. So use your best judgment and use what you have.
Yeah. The main thing is like you have to, so it comes back to like, why does a tourniquet work? Pressure, right? Understanding the principles behind it. So like, why does an AED work? Because it's sending a charge over a heart that's either in AFib or VFib, right? And so it's trying to shock it back into its correct rhythm through the node. And so with that, understanding like you're trying to get the best access to that node rather than like trying to make sure you shock them correctly. It's so like understanding the principle. If you have somebody who is very, 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 very small and looks exactly like a child, run the child method. If you have somebody who's a bit smaller person but still has a lot of muscle, still has like a large complex, maybe they have a higher fat content, all these things, that's when still do your standard like left side and above placement for your pads. And it might be a little bit AED dependent too. So that's it also depends kind of like on the equipment that you have. If you ever have questions about that, like feel free to call us and we'll get you in touch with one of our trainers, right? And you can talk to them about the specific AED you have, as well as your question as to like what you're referring to. You're probably like thinking of a very specific individual in your head, right? And we can maybe coach you through that and be a resource for you. I don't want to like, the thing is with trauma medicine and with like dirt medicine, there's so much gray area that a lot of times it is situationally dependent. And so feel free to reach out to us and use us as a resource. So that way maybe we can fill in a little bit of those blanks and give you some more clarity. That's a great question, by the way. Seriously. Oh, I love the challenge. Makes you think, makes you wonder, makes you ask around. That's the good stuff right there. What do you got, Dud?
We got two snake comments.
Snake comments.
Ambitious Gunner on Instagram said most hospitals are struggling now with anti-venom. You said that?
Yeah, I read that.
Oh, I missed that one. Well, hopping over to Dano Not in the Lion's Den on YouTube. pay attention to your environment in the woods before you go and sit somewhere off the trail or a tree. Evaluate the area, 3 paces all around. Not so common sense anymore.
Right.
But a phone in the hand is. I was just moving all of my solar panels yesterday, and they're laying on the ground. Oh boy, was I cautious, making sure there was no snake going to hop out from under them.
Yeah, dude. We have like an SOP in my house. We check the chicken coop before we go in. Like the way we built our chicken coop is we have like fencing on the top, so we can see in 360 degrees because you just never know. And you mess around and you it's the old FAFO saying, like, frick around and find out, you know? And when it comes to venomous snakes, like, it's just not something to be played with. So situational awareness and then information are a big force multiplier for you, like knowing what is going on around you. And then if something still goes wrong, knowing what type of snake it is, when you were bit, right? Notating your time, as well as notating the blood type of the individual who was bit.
Hey, speaking of that, I was on Instagram and I saw a video of a person saying you better be cautious going into your chicken coop because there was a chicken sitting on top of their eggs roosting with a snake sitting under them, and the chicken was just there fine. The snake was nice and cozy, curled up. They used a stick and showed that snake is just there waiting for another egg to pop out.
Wow.
Yeah, I went in one night and I walked to my chicken coop and there was a like 5-foot long snake intertwined in my laying boxes. They don't care.
Throw the whole chicken coop out.
How dare you, chicken, not peck at the snake and kill
Right?
it?
Yeah.
They eat the little ones. The big ones are like, meh.
Well, would you go up against a big snake if you were?
I did. I killed it with a friggin' dull
If
axe.
you were a chicken.
Oh, no.
Oh, sir, are you saying we need to arm chickens with dull axes?
Those arms. Have you seen those arms they put on the chickens?
That's hilarious.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Guys, we have time for probably one more question, right? So if you have a question, you feel as though it needs to be answered, throw it in the chat below. If you have a question you're thinking about, maybe type it in the chat. Someone else is probably thinking about it too. Be that person, ask that question, help your team out. What you got?
Do you know what this device is right here?
I have no idea. It's not an iPhone, though, and I'm like super
well,
curious.
actually, it is.
Is it?
It's an iPhone 7.
Holy smokes.
Yes.
Whoa.
That's why it looks weird like that.
Did you get it at an antique store?
No, it's one of my backup to my backups to my backup phones.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be like that.
Yep.
Only
Is that
Dustin
Twitter?
has that
Huh?
one.
Yes, it is. Twitter.
Twitter.
I still can't figure out how to get it running in OBS as an additional. But yes, Twitter, and we've had 3 people comment on Twitter.
What up,
far.
Twitter?
Yep.
We're trying to build our Twitter right now because we honestly forgot that was a social media. Like, we just didn't know that was a social media. What's up, my Alaskan Lifestyle?
We all just need to start, like, when we have random thoughts pop into our head, just get on Twitter and, like, say
And just
it.
vomit it out.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do. We'll start tweeting the thoughts of Refuge.
Refuge thoughts.
Refuge thoughts on Twitter.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a new thing. Cool. Any more questions on any of them? No? No?
Nope.
All right, guys. We have one more piece of news. Should be going out today for Memorial Day.
Wait, are you about to tell me the sale on the live?
For Memorial Day. Let me get it right.
J.A., did you not know? Look, we're the last to know this time, both of us.
Yeah, I'm completely oblivious.
For Memorial Day.
Wait, when is that?
Memorial Day is on Sunday.
Oh.
It's on Monday.
Well, no, on Monday.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
I'll take a great start there, Bob.
I'm doing really well. This is my first time being on a live. I don't care. If you guys want transparency, we're real people over here. I am not perfect. I make mistakes. All right. So for Memorial Day through the weekend, starting on Thursday, tomorrow, okay?
Tomorrow is not Memorial Day. I thought you said it was on Monday.
I said for Memorial Day.
Not Sunday.
Not Sunday.
Okay.
Starting tomorrow, every item that you purchase enters you. So 1 item equals 1 entry. If you buy 100 splinter outs, that's 100 entries, right?
Is that 100 orders? Or if you
Items.
make 1 order,
With 100 items,
that's 100 entries.
that's 100 entries.
Okay.
Okay. Every item that you order enters you to win a fully built out field medic.
That's insane.
The field, I know, I knew you would hate that. The field medic is our second largest kit. It's valued at over $1,000. It's a freaking awesome kit. This is something that you want for your team, for your mag, for your like whole family, whatever, for your unit. This is an awesome kit. So if you've been thinking about maybe ordering something, or you like want to plus up your preps or your supplies, every item ordered enters you again to win the Field Medic. Now this starts tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow starting, that's when it goes down. So be ready, be froggy, get ready to order tomorrow. Guys, it's gonna be close. I'm not gonna it's gonna be awesome. So yeah, and oh, you get to pick the color too. So any color you want that we have in stock, we're not gonna make a new color for you. But any color that we stock, that's what's gonna be available to you guys. You're gonna get entered to win a free Field Medic with every item purchased. So super awesome. And yeah, man, it's exciting. So that's where we're going to end it. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or inquiries, always reach out to us. We are a resource for you. We freaking love you. We appreciate you. Don't forget, carry a tourniquet and be the hero. Bye, guys. Shalom.